morning, folks. This morning's soap is brought to us by Gold Shave. And this one here is Old Hickory. This soap, I know I was going to do this aftershave and I forgot to bring the shirt. But I got this at Wet the Face. They have Don's got a drawing every month. And this was the last month actually, that I won this setup. And knew I was going to forget to bring the shirt in here. But anyway, it's a striped gold shave shirt, shaved like a president. And anyway, I won the drawing for this one here for Wet the Face and what Frank had going on Instagram. I think all that took place in 3 days, which was great 3 days. So anyway, this is just I got the scent profile down below. It's complex from my nose, but it's firm in the puck. I mean, in the container, it's about 5 ounces in the container. Pretty nice. So my routine is a little bit different this morning. My pre-shave soap is getting pretty small to hang on to, so that's how big is what's left. So I decided it's probably a good time to switch over to the pre-shave oil. This is a 1 ounce container. It came with I guess you might say a kit that I bought from Yulay, and I'm going to be giving this a try. So what I've tried to do this morning is I put some on my face, about 15 minutes ago, and I'm going to see how that works out for me. Whether I need to do it, like 15 minutes before or just right before. I'll be tinkering with that, trying to figure out what's going to work best for me. But anyway, I've already applied that to my face, as well as a hot towel. Do still have my Allen Block no rubber band this morning, and Humphrey's witch hazel citrus scented, and it's mentholated now, as you can tell. And I've already showed you the aftershave. The blade of choice today. This is what the box looks like, and that name is rather lengthy. I usually just call them Kai Pinks. They refer to it as a mild blade. This is the only one I have from, so I don't know how this compares to the other blades, but works quite well for me. Got this soap whipped up on the wet side. This particular brush was one of my first ones I got from Frank, Strike Gold Shave, and that's what it looks like there in the bowl. Got this bowl at a thrift store, so I have been looking off and on when my wife and I go out. I'll look at the various different stock that some stores will have to see if I can find a bowl similar to this one here, and I have yet to find one. Here's the shave for the day, and this one here is similar to, I guess you might say, along the lines of a traditional common what you see in the way of a shavette, with the exception of this part right here. A lot of the shavettes, you'll see that these two pieces will split and twist like that. This one here will come apart, but it does not twist. And this clamp or clip right here doesn't have a rivet. There's not. In other words, it just comes completely off. And this blade, you may have a hard time seeing it. It runs full length, and no, this shaver was not necessarily designed for this kind of blade. I've tried them with a long blade like this, as well as a injector blade, but it's designed to use a DE blade snapped in half, or one that's pre-cut. But it will hold that. What I do is when I place it up in there, it has 2 posts up there, so the back of your blade will just bump right up next to that post, and that's how much blade is left sticking out. Same thing with an injector blade. You'll have basically the same kind of blade exposure, if you will. I'll go ahead and get started here. But this shaver here, at the pivot point, is still pretty snug, even after me having it as long as I've had it. And it's a pretty nice shaver. You'll find it in this version here, as well as one with dark colored scales, look like a black, and then the rest of it will be gold. Somewhat more expensive, running you about another $15 roughly to get one like that. So no, I don't have one like that. In other words, I'm quite happy with the one I have right now. To me, it's well made. Typically, you can find these shavers like this one here, running right around $23, $25, somewhere right in there. Modern Man, I think, has it right around that $23, $25 mark, and they have some pretty reasonable shipping rates there. But if I remember right, they're sold out of both of them. It's one of those things, in some cases, if you're looking for your best buy, best bang for the buck, sometimes it takes a little while before you finally find somebody have it in stock at that price range. This will be the second shave on this blade. Shaved with it yesterday. Really nice shave. I enjoy this combination in between the shaver and the blade here. As it goes for stretching, I'd have to say that's really up to the individual and how much stretching they need to use. For me, sometimes it depended on the shaver also. At least that's been my experience. Some shavers I stretch more than what I do with other shavers. With a shavette, I usually just go with the 2-pass shave. Gets me pretty darn close with 2 passes. One with the grain, the one against the grain. And I'll put a link down below. Sharpologist also, matter of fact, I think that's the link I'll put down below. Talks about sharpness of DE blades. And I've been following this guy off and on that's been doing the workup on sharpness of blades and trying to put it to not only a scientific version of it, but as well as put it where most people might be able to understand what's going on with the sharpness, durability of blades, DE blades. And since the bulk of the community, if you will, shaves with the DE blade, I thought it would be pretty helpful. It's a lot of information to wrap your mind around. So when you start to read it, now you want to make sure you got a moment to to get through it. Got a little close right there. Not that I don't have a little extra there, but it's got a lot of information about the sharpness of blades and durability, and gives a good, enough information for folks to understand what's been going on. One of the reasons why I like the, I guess you might say, having a blade that runs full length right here, it's easier for me to get to that heel when I'm shaving around my face like that. It's easier for me to judge where that's at and get pretty close. Sometimes a little too close, but to me it helps me out. I am thinking already, this is not the first time I've used Preshave oil, and I've dabbled, I think, 2 or 3 times maybe with coconut oil when I've been off camera, just kind of tinkering with things. I'm kind of thinking that's maybe the direction I go. I notice it not only during the shave, but also notice it seems like on the post-shave, whether it's coconut oil or Preshave oil, how my face feels, there is a difference for me. I just need to figure out if it's worthwhile. Should I, in other words, put it on, wait 15 minutes, or just put it on and go directly into my shave? See which one works better for me. I know the soap, as it goes for performance, is really nice, especially whipped up, I guess you might say, the way it is right now. Uh, Not quite, it might be considered drippy to some folks, but it is, I guess you might say, a little bit on the thicker side of a cream. You can kind of tell it goes on, painting it on for me just works just fine. On top of even the Preshave oil. Seems to work pretty good. I guess you might say part of that journey. As well as I should say that that article, it might help some folks to understand, especially if you're kind of just sort of starting out, and help you sort out the range of blades that's out there, reason why you may get one kind of shave with the blade and then a different. It helps explain a lot of that sort of thing, and reason why things go the way they do with some of the blades, especially those with coating, without coating, the expectations of if you got coating, how long that coating may stay on the blade, and then when it comes off, how that affects your shave, good or bad, whatever the case might be. In my past videos, I put a link down below to this website before. In Sharpologist, I just picked up on it last week, I think it was. You can kind of tell how I, guess you might say, get around, looking around my hand. I do shave with one hand. It works best for me. My left hand, I don't think I can trust it well enough. I've tried a few times, and for me, this just works well for me. One hand for both sides. It kind of reminds me, in a way, off topic, I guess you might say, um, in my younger days when I played baseball. I remember the coach always getting on me about the balls that I would be hitting, and he would tell me, that was a ball. In other words, not a strike, but a ball. And yeah, that's what I hit best, was balls. Not strikes, balls. In other words, outside the plate. Those I hit rather well. Strikes, okay, but I never felt like I got a hold of one quite like I do when it's a ball on the outside of the plate. So, different beat of the drum, I just do what works best for me, even though it's outside the box. Tim had mentioned about what it takes to look around your hand. Like I say, it for me, I've learned over time what works best for me, and using the same hand on both sides, I've learned how to peer around it. It just depends on how you hold it, what you're comfortable with, and it may take a while. Because I know for me, the way this is made, how many fingers you put before and after. I know in the beginning, some of them I felt more comfortable with 3 up front, some more with 3 on the back, and then eventually I settled with the 2 in front, 2 in back for most of my shavers. I have to say, this is still, second use on this blade, it's still hanging right in there. Still nice and smooth. There for the longest, my go-to blade was Feather Artist Club Super. The Super works well for me. Professional, I tried several times, and it just never felt near as comfortable as the Super. And for me, these Kai Pinks really do work well for me. I'd have to say for most of my shavettes that use blades like this or can accept a blade like this, the pink works better for me than the Super, but Super would be the one right in behind it. In other words, we're only talking about just a slight difference. It's noticeable. Part of what the factor for me also is the availability, how easy is it to find, and the price. There's 20 blades in here. I think Maggard sells them $20 for a dispenser, 20 pack dispenser. So that's $1 a blade. Depends on where your pain point is at with these kind of blades, whether it fits into your way of doing things or not. For me, $1 a blade, and then you start working out your price point where you're comfortable with that. And for me, I factor in also the fact that I really like these blades. I get good shaves out of them. I don't experience a whole lot of issue with them, especially when you start working these not only in shavettes but your single edge razors that will accommodate the same kind of blade. So I kind of factor all that in. I enjoy the shave. This is for me just like, I have just a little bit of stinging right about here. That's the only place I've got stinging. It's a really smooth shaving blade. It could be because the Supers are maybe a tad bit sharper. Maybe that's the deal with them. And it takes, in other words, more than one shave in order to start to get that blade to calm down where it doesn't feel quite so edgy. I know that when I first started using the Supers, they felt pretty edgy. Got some witch hazel here. Been very lucky, like I said, it was a 3-day span or something like that. I won 2 drawings, 2 giveaways. Awesome. Don't always have that kind of luck. Matter of fact, I guess you might say it's been a dry spell. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I won a drawing, so yeah, I'm quite thankful though. I mean, great products, both of them from Strike Gold Shave. I really like this soap. The base, sand of course also, but the base on this sort of thing, it's always worked well for me. Jennifer was the one back when she had her shop open. She's the one who made soaps for Strike Gold Shave, and it's still to me just a good soap. It works well for me. Get some aftershave here. Show you what this restrictor looks like. It is made in such a way that if a person wanted to, you could pop that plastic restrictor out of there if you prefer something that has more flow to it. Let's see if I can show you. You shake it like that and you get a few drops out of it. Kind of help control how much you're getting out of there. For some folks that might be a deal breaker if it didn't have it in there. For me, if it's wide open, it works just fine. It's all going to get there as soon as I can get it up there to my face. Smells really nice. I'll put a link down below about that article discussing DE blades and the sharpness and all that sort of thing. I got a link to Frank's Etsy page. He's going to be out of pocket until I think the 22nd, according to the website. And in other words, if you're looking for this soap, I think when I looked at it earlier this week, I think there was 3 left. I think I could be wrong. I might get it confused with the haberdasher. I can't remember. But anyway, when he comes back, hopefully, if you're interested in one of his soaps, he'll still have it in stock. It seems to go pretty fast, and he mentions on Instagram that his soap is available. I think it's West Coast. I can't remember. At another website. Anyway, maybe 2 now. Great shave this morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shakes to you.